Good afternoon, Run Farther and Faster family. It is Eric Drew out at Prime Fitness and Fit Body Boot Camp in Gaithersburg. I reached out to Julie and Lisa and asked them if it would be helpful for you guys if I put together a little video going over all the exercises we did the other day at our session outside on the track. So they said yes, that'd be very helpful. So I just wanted to kind of highlight some things, go through some tips and some tricks so you get the most bang for your buck out of all those exercises. First things first, I wanted to kind of point out the two tools that I had spoken about the other day. The one that we used for sure is the mini bands that we used. A lot of you guys either had green, some of you had yellow or blue. They're just different intensities that we use to go around your ankles, but they can be used for a lot of other places too. You actually can use them for your shoulders, and you can use them for some ab work as well too. But I'm going to show you the exercises we did the other day, and just kind of really give you some thoughtful things as you're going through them. Second was the slingshot, and I'm actually going to start with this since you guys didn't really get a chance to see the slingshot the other day. And with the slingshot, you're going to take this guy and you're going to put it above your knees. Unlike what we did with the bands, we put that below down around your ankles. But this is going to go up above your knees for a lot of the same exercises that we did before, for the bridges, for the lateral band walking. It's just a thicker band. It's got a little bit of a fabric covering over top of the rubber, so it's not quite so restrictive, and it doesn't feel like it's cutting into you so much. So it's called a slingshot hip circle. If you want to order one, you get them on Amazon. They're a great tool to have. They're great for runners, helping you get getting your hips stronger, your glutes stronger for a better running, for injury-free running. So next up, we're going to get into these exercises. We're going to rock and roll, and I'll probably get them through quick so you guys can not spend a lot of time watching this video. You can get out and exercise. Okay, first up is the lateral band walk exercise. You're going to take the band, you're going to put it down around your legs, close to your ankles. Know that if you want to have a little bit less intensity, you can move it up your legs a little bit higher, get it closer to your knees. If you feel like you can't control your knee pattern a little bit or your gait a little bit, bring it up a little bit higher, take some of the intensity out of it. The longer the resistance is, the harder it is for you. So we can set up with this thing. We're just going to take 3 steps to your left, 3 steps to your right, and you're just going to keep going side to side for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds. You could even do it as long as a minute. Take a look at my knees, look at my hips. Everything's kind of lined up. I'm trying to keep my feet from turning out. I want to make sure my feet stay nice and squared up so I'm moving through my hips. So as I take a step over, 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3. If you look, my hips are back, my knees are soft. We've got a nice little forward lean in my chest. 1, 2, 3. Keeping constant tension down there in the band. So that was the first exercise we did. You can do those as a movement prep, get you ready for your run, or you can just use it as a fill-in. Like sometimes when you're trying to get a little extra strength work in, or if you're going to be doing squats and lunges, a great way to get yourself ready for squats and lunges. The second one we dove right into was going into it a little bit of a step back. So you stabilize all your weight onto one leg, and you're going to step straight back. Kind of a little bit on a bit of an angle too. As you reach back, notice the back leg gets pretty straight. Bring it back in, tap, return, tap, return. Now with this one, you do need to make sure the band is pretty low. Okay? It can't be too high or it's not going to kind of catch your leg. You want to make sure it gets pretty low. And look at, I'm stepping and returning, making it pretty quick. The working leg, believe it or not, is going to be the standing leg. This is the stabilizing leg, and that's what you're working on, balance and stabilization. You would do both sides. Then, the next one we worked on was just a straight out to the side move. Again, hips back, hold your posture, make sure everything's good, knees are soft, I'm just going straight out to the side and back in. Of course, do both sides, guys, don't just do one side. Step out, back in, and I'm looking down, trying to keep my feet lined up as best I can. Okay? Out and back in, out and back in. I'll look down every so often to make sure everything's set up well. And then we did monster walks. Monster walks, I'm going to back up a little bit here so I stay in the camera. Take your feet as wide as you can without snapping the band or feeling like the band is going to snap. And step, 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 step. Return, return, return. And you can do 5 or 10 steps forward, 5 or 10 steps backwards. And really feel your hips and glutes fire up to get you working hard. The last of the standing moves was a step and follow move. We use this a lot with athletes to help with lateral gait placement. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and notice I've got space in between my feet. I'm going to step and follow, but I'm not going to let this back leg catch up notice I've got my back heel off the ground. Step, follow, step, follow, step, follow. Boom. Still space. Now I'm going to go backwards. Step, follow, step, follow, step, follow. 3 to 5 steps forward, 3 to 5 steps backwards, and then switch legs. Keep going for about a minute or so for those exercises. Any of these you can design for 20, 30, 45 seconds of work, whatever you're up to, so you can build some strength there. Now, moving on from there, we went up to some bridging moves. And in the bridging moves, we get down on the ground for those. These I love. I cannot talk about bridging enough in terms of hip strength, in terms of glute power to kind of get your hips set up for success when you're running, when you're lunging, when you're squatting, when you're deadlifting. So here comes the bridge. I'm going to come right down on the ground. I'm going to take the band. I'm going to move the band actually above my knees. Now this would be a time when using the slingshot would be really helpful if you had a slingshot. I'm going to set myself up so that my fingertips could touch my backs of my shoes. Good. I'm right there. Move forward just a little bit. So my fingertips can touch the backs of my shoes. Then I'm going to move them away 2 or 3 inches. Now, feet are lined up with my hips, knees are lined up with my hips, so we're all here. Okay, I'm going to squeeze out into the band. Hands down on the ground for a little bit of stability. Drive up, come down. Drive up, come down. Making sure that you're feeling like you're squeezing your rear end as hard as you can. I like to use the term crack a walnut between your butt cheeks. I know it sounds weird, it sounds funny, but it does get the idea across of what you're trying to achieve. So down and up, and the whole time you're doing this, keep your knees apart. Don't let the band pull them in. Works on that lateral aspect of your hips. Then we can take it into a single leg bridge. And we're here and here. Bring your feet together. Now take one knee back, pull it towards your chest. The band's going to get pretty tight, and you do a single leg bridge. And the idea about keeping this leg back is it now teaches your abs to stay engaged while you're moving through your hips. Switch sides, you take a look at the other side, pull it back, drive up. And your goal when you do this is to try and get your hips up as high as you can so that your hips, your knee, and your shoulder form pretty much a tabletop. And then back down and release. You can take the band off. And that, my friends, are some of the best exercises you can do to kind of get your hips ready, get your glutes stronger, for better performance, for injury prevention when you're out on your runs. I hope that was helpful. I'll be happy to send more videos along the way if you guys ever need some. I hope you guys are having some great runs and enjoying the great weather we're having. Thanks a bunch, Lisa and Julie. We'll see you guys soon.